Alright guys, so I recently got this tiller from a friend, very nicely timed because the other one I was using broke, and his neighbor was actually tossing this thing out. He had it on the curb, and so my friend grabbed it from him with all this stuff. I don't know why he was tossing it, but he gave it to me, and it had a couple little things go wrong with it, so I was going to address some of those today. I don't have any experience working on engines or motors, so I'm just going to kind of fumble my way. Obviously I used YouTube for some how-to videos and whatnot, but some things that were wrong with it is when I got it, the fuel line was completely off of it right here, and I found that out by pouring some gasoline in there and then seeing a puddle kind of forming underneath the machine. So that was pretty obvious even for someone with a lack of experience like me. So I basically just, as a quick fix, you probably can't see this, but I just took a little zip line and attached it to the fuel line and kind of fixed that. But there's been some other issues. I don't know if the previous owner ever really took care of it, but the air filter behind here is really dirty, and I noticed that when I started it up, sometimes the throttle, it's like the throttle would be fully engaged, so when I start it, it would just be going balls to the wall, spinning, which, you know, obviously is not an ideal way to start one of these things. So I noticed that, well, I'll take this off in a minute, but basically what I decided to do is just go ahead and buy a brand new carburetor on Amazon. It's like $14, and so pretty cheap, and I figured why not just get new parts for everything. The filter was like filthy, so I got some new filters. This piece, well, this is the piece I was going to show you, but this piece in the actual carburetor that's in there right now, the throttle, which I'm guessing this is, when you pull the throttle, it sticks back. So even when you let go of the handle, it just stays like this. So that way when you start it just goes and just kind of off on its own. Obviously this is really well lubricated and brand new, so I know this is going to probably address a couple of the things that there are issues with here. So I already took this off just to, you know, poke around and take a look at it. So it doesn't have a air filter currently on it. As you can see, I cleaned this off and whatnot. So anyway, this is going to be my attempt at changing out the carb and playing around with some of the stuff to make sure that it's in good working order. And I don't know if we can see this, but maybe I can even demonstrate, like when I pull this back. Let's turn this around, because maybe some of you guys are having this issue of the throttle sticking. Can you even see that? Let's see. Okay, so when I pull the throttle back, see how it just sticks up there? I don't know if you can see that, but it just sticks up there, and I have to manually push it back. So there's definitely, you know, it probably could just be cleaned really well, but I figured for $14, might as well just get a whole new thing. But while we're on the subject of this, let me just kind of go over, because I haven't even gone in this box to see what all's in here. And I've done some research and have found out a little bit more information about this tiller, and, you know, how it can be used and changing parts and whatnot. But I don't know if you can see this, but what do I have on here right now? This is basically a tiller cultivator combo is what they call it. So it's got two different kinds of tines, these little wheels that come with them. So the ones that are currently on it, I didn't realize at the time, but these are actually cultivator tines. So these are really used once you already have an established bed to basically dig you a little line that you can like plant seeds down. It's not really, how I understand it is, it's not really heavy duty, meant to really churn up the ground like the tiller wheels are. So this is the cultivator, and these ones in here are the actual tiller ones. So you can see how the teeth are all bent and jagged in different directions to really grip onto the dirt and the clay and really just tear it up. So one of the things I'm going to do is, well, I guess here are the things I want to do. Is I already mentioned that I want to change out the carb. I want to change the tines on it so I actually can have make it more of a tiller purpose and not a cultivator purpose. And then I also want to check the transmission oil that's in the transmission right here at the base to make sure that that's good, because I'm poking around a little bit through this. I can see that I've got some Mantis 1 gallon mix, 2-stroke engine oil. I'm assuming this is, look at this, spiders crawling all over me. This thing's been in the box forever. So I got a little bit of that in there. And I've got some grease. So that's going to be handy. I've got, man, this actually has everything in there. So it's got the tilling wheels. And it even has, this is, I think, is the edger with, it looks like it hasn't even been used, with this wheel. So you attach the wheel to one end, and then you put the edger on the other end, and you can just kind of go, you know, go in your grass or the driveway or whatever. And while this is just stationary, spinning, it probably spins in this hole here. This one is actually spinning and is edging your yard or whatever you want to edge. So pretty sweet to get all this stuff for free. I'm really appreciative of my friend for giving it to me. So anyway, I think what we'll do is we'll start with actually changing the carb out. And bear with me, I think I've got all my tools here. But, you know, we'll see. Let's kind of see as we go along. So just let me make sure that this is in frame and everything's good here. Get it closer so you guys can at least see a little bit of what's going on here. I'm going to move the camera. Okay. Alright, so I've already taken off the cap, and we know that the air filter goes in here too, but I've already removed it, so it's out. And I know we've got to take these screws out. This goes through the entire carb, like into the engine block. So once I take this off, it's going to expose the actual carb piece that's behind it. And then it also has these, what do they call these things? Seals, I think. I told you. Alright, seals that are on it too. So of course this kit's going to come with everything new like this. So I've already pretty much ran this dry, almost. I mean, more or less. There's probably a little bit of gas still in here, which I think there is. So, I mean, I'm not too worried about it, just a tiny bit. So it might leak out. I've got some napkins and whatnot. So we'll just address it as we get there. So let's take out these screws and get to it. And I'm probably going to cover it a little bit, so just hold on. Alright. Come on. Wow, so that came off pretty easy. So this piece right here, the throttle cable, this, let me take this whole thing off. So here's the old cover here. The screws are off. And then this piece right here, this line right here is the throttle that goes all the way up to the handlebar. This, all you do is just pop this little thing off. You can pop it on and off. So now this is free. So the only other thing we need to do now is cut free these fuel lines so that we can kind of look at how dirty this is. So this thing probably hasn't been cleaned at all. Whoa. So anyway, so what we need to do is cut those. And of course, do I have something to cut with? Ah, I have a knife in my pocket, so let's try this. Okay, so I'm just going to cut. As I mentioned before, a little bit of fuel in here. It's pretty much gone now. Just leave that there. Okay, and then we're going to cut this one. So, boom. Alright, so there you have it. Here's the old one. There's the old one right there. It's not too dirty once you get onto the inside, but the outside was pretty darn dirty. I'm going to take this little seal off of here. And it looks like it maybe has leaked a little bit because it's kind of stuck on there a little bit. So I'm just going to scrape some of this off. Make sure that none gets in that little hole. So, of course, we want to have this completely clear so that when we put on the other, when we put on the other seal on it, you want it to sit nice and flat and flush. Actually, sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I really just kind of going flying by my seat of my pants here. So that looks pretty good. Looks nice and clean. The top, of course, is pretty dirty, but I'm not even going to try to touch that right now because I just don't want anything to get in there. All right, so now I think what I need to do is basically take this little seal off, pop it off. It's a little stopper that has the 3 lines, the fuel lines going in it. And I think I might even need to, oh look, this is just tucked away. So I read about this, but I just basically just need to pop this whole thing free. So I've got my handy dandy flathead here. I'm just gonna pop it out. Slowly work at it. Try not to damage the fuel tank, of course. All right, so then I'm gonna, the little filter or whatever at the bottom is preventing it from coming fully through. So I'm just gonna kind of pull this out and see if I can kind of feed this up to where I can grab it like this. All right, I almost got it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull that off. Pull this off. All right, so far so good. Got some gas in places, but you know what? It's okay. So now we've got carburetor's off, the fuel lines are off. Basically, we're in a good spot here to get this other stuff back on. Which order we begin? I think maybe what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get this in place. I wonder if this will fit through here. Wishful thinking. Ouch. Yeah, that helps. All right. So then we'll get this completely through. Tucked in here. Push it through. Ah, a little bugger. All right. Again, you got to be careful here not to damage anything, but to slowly kind of push it on through. Some airflow in here. Open this door up. Okay. See if we can get this thing in here. When it's sealed fully. Alright, it's pretty much in here, I think. It looks pretty darn good to me. All right, it's flush all the way around. Looks like it's seated really well, but I just want to make sure. Okay, cool, it's good. So what I'm going to do is just tuck this right back up, right up where that one was, right there, and then hook these guys up. Okay, so basically, this is the discharge hose. This is the suction hose because it's the longest one that goes all the way down. So the suction hose connects to the bottom of the carburetor, right here. So I'm going to push this up in there, right up in there. All right. Get it to sit nice and flat as I can against the carburetor. All right, and then here's the discharge one. I'm going to sit this against that. Again, try to get it all the way flush with the carburetor, like so. There's that. And now I'm going to get my seals here. I got one seal, whoops, there, one seal there. Okay, lined up pretty well, I think. Let me see. Yeah, it goes like this. It can only go one way, really, guys. So, there it is. Alright, like that. I'm gonna just... Okay, I'm trying to figure out here which one of these goes which direction. I told you this is my first time doing this, so you have to bear with me a little bit. Alright, so this has a hole right here. So that looks like it pretty darn fits like a glove. Now this one back here, alright, that one lines up with that hole. So that's got to be it right there, guys. Okay, we're all learning together here. Alright. So now, I'm going to feed this through both of them, like so. Oh. See, with the screws in them, it helps line everything up where it's supposed to go. And I'm just going to kind of, yeah, this is almost like too much line. See, it crimps. This actually, so the kit that I got, which is one of these kits on Amazon, it actually, there's a little excess hose right here for the discharge. So I think I might actually trim that, because otherwise it's going to crimp and it's probably not going to work effectively. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to try to be careful, because obviously I don't want to take off too much. So let's see. I'm going to just take this stuff out. Okay, I'm not going to try to be all fancy with it here. This, I'm just going to leave that seal right like that. That works for me. And I'll take this one off. And I'm going to trim up. Just remember which one it is. This one right here. The discharge one. Because I do not want it to crimp. Now, obviously, you can always make it shorter unless you cut it too short. So I'm just going to start off with just maybe a tiny bit here, like this. Okay. Just like that. So that was about 1 inch. I'm thinking that's going to be enough. Okay. Because now that's going to be like, let's check it out. Put it all the way down. Now when it goes on, it's going to be about like that. Gosh, I think I'm going to take a little bit even more off. I'm going to take about 1/4 inch off. Because I think it's still a little long. I'm going to take about that much off right there. Okay. Little by little. Alright, I'm going to push this back in. Flush. Oh, that's almost perfect. See that? Okay, perfect. Alright. Okay. So, we got this seal back here. We're going to put it on. And then going to get this cover, put it on here. Okay, everything is on, hunky dory, fantastic. Push, push, push. Okay, now we're gonna screw this baby back on. spinning. Is this stripped or something? Maybe that's better. It's probably not good. It's not like seated all the way in there. Is this an issue? Oh, there it goes. Alright, just have to apply some more pressure. Okay. So that's pretty good. So everything's sealed in on there. Now I'm going to take our little throttle line right here. You see that? I'm going to put it back on this. So now it should all work. Okay. Boop. All right. Next thing is this little air filter. So I don't even know how this goes. Like that. That looks about right. Now I'm going to put this bad boy back on here. I might have to play with these little high-low valves a little bit. Okay, I think it goes on like this. Make sure this is flush here, everything's flush. There. Sweet. Okay. The new air filter is nice and thick and clean. So, okay. Screw this back on. Got a clean air filter on it. It's awesome. Okay. Now we're going to change the spark plug. And it's good that the all the gas is out, because when I lay it down to take a look at the transmission oil, you know, it's not going to be leaking all over the place. All right. Oh, I knew I needed something. I needed a ratchet. All right, hold on. Size that I have. How is that possible? Son of a bee. So what else can I use? These guys? Is this dumb? It's gonna be a slow. Oh, wow, that worked a lot better than I thought it was. Okay. Wow, look at this thing. Huh. Look how freaking dirty that is compared to the new one. I mean, that is filthy. This thing really needed a change. I don't even know, you're supposed to clean the inside of this thing? Should I spray something in there, like some WD-40? I don't know. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna put it in, because I don't want to mess anything up. So basically, I'm just gonna kind of do it as tight as that other one was. I just basically did barely a turn, really. Just like that. Alright. I think that's it. So I've replaced everything. I've got a new air filter in here. I got a completely new carburetor. Completely new spark plug. And now I need to look at the bottom and take these wheels off. So I'm going to change the wheels out, and then I'm also going to look at the transmission fluid here. So I might change the angle of this real quick. So here are the wheels. We're going to take this little pin out of each side, this little guy. That way we can take these wheels off. Hopefully this whole thing doesn't fall off the table. Like, it just pulls right through. Got to clean it up since from the last time. So there's that one. I'm gonna install this new baby on there. Okay. So I read on there too, so let's see, it spins backwards, I think. Gosh, I can't remember. No, it spins forwards. So if you want to have it more of like a break-up tiller action, it depends on which way you turn these wheels, because it's spinning, so you can either be gripping the ground and digging into it, or it can be, you know, a little more gentle approach. Maybe if you're, I don't know what the purpose is, if these are the tilling tines, but we're gonna do it like this because we wanted to grip in and dig into that. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna put this on here, slide on. Why isn't it going further? What's stopping it from going? Oh, there's a little, well, I may be wrong about that. Well, hold on. Because it looks like it's stopping it. Yeah, it is. Well, I take that back because there's actually a piece in here. You can see, sorry, you can see right there that this is shaped differently than this. This is a complete circle, so it's going to let something go all the way through. And then it actually prevents it from this side. So this is cut a certain way, so we're actually going to have to do it like this. So we're just going to trust that the design is how it should be, which I know it is. And we're just going to go this way. Put the pin back in. I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. All right, here's the other side. Pin out. This is the cultivator. Taking it off and putting the tiller wheel on. Get all this crap off of here. And again, we're just gonna follow what we did on the other side. Put that on, put the pin in. Boom. And you know what I should have done actually? Is before I did this frickin' thing is look at the transmission. So let's back up and take these all apart again so I can actually look and unscrew these things and take a look at that. So hold on. Okay, we're back. So I took all the tines off, and here's the plate that we can actually access the transmission fluid. And I'm assuming we probably should have this pretty flat once we actually take the cap off, but for right now what I want to do, I don't even know if this thing has ever been taken off before, but you can probably see in here it's pretty darn dirty. So I want to clean this up around the edges, and especially obviously the screw part, so we can actually get it open. So I'm just gonna, I just got a Dremel here with a little brush attachment. I'm just gonna turn it on and take care of all of this dirt and stuff all around here so I can get the screws out. Okay, so that's pretty much cleaned up as much as I needed it to be. There's still a little bit of crap here in the actual screw holes, but I don't think it's going to be so much that I can't get a grip here, because this is coming out pretty easily. So I'm going to put it on a lower setting on here, maybe 9, and just try to gently take some of these out. Okay, that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, this shit is about to fall over, so I don't really have a professional setup here or anything. I'm just kind of rigging it. So anyway, I will get these screws all the way out. Put them over here where it's clean. And then hope this doesn't leak everywhere when we pull this off. If we can even get it off. Again, I don't even think that this thing has probably even been taken off before. There we go. gentle here with it. So, I don't know, guys, does that look okay? Normal? I mean, it looks like it's pretty well lubricated up. I don't know if I want to take this off or not, but kind of, well, I already kind of ripped it a little bit right there. Hopefully that's okay. Anyway, it looks pretty good here. I'm guessing this is the grease that goes in here. So I'm just thinking it's probably been a long time since anything's been in here. Oh crap, this is a brand new tube. Do I want to open it? What is this? Two-stroke engine oil. Oh, okay, this is actually for fuel. Duh. Alright, this is the grease. I mean, I'm hesitant. It's like, this thing's brand new. Do I really want to open it up? Alright, I think we should. I mean, we got all this other stuff open, so we might as well. Okay, we don't have to use it all. So I'm going to cut. I'm guessing this just gets cut at the tip, right? Yep. Okay. And I'm just going to give it a go. Okay. Wow. Alright, it's kind of thick. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of love on here. Nothing crazy, because I don't know how much really is in here, but I'm just going to put it right there. And just judging by the consistency that this is in this bottle, you know, it's very similar to this. When I first opened it up, I was thinking, oh crap, you know, maybe it's time to change the oil or grease or whatever. But since they match pretty well, I'm thinking it's going to be okay. So I'm just going to attach this right back on now. Be careful here to line it up. Get my screws in. Yeah, so basically I'm going to screw this all back together, put the tines back up, and then we are going to check out our handiwork and then put some gas in it and start it. See you in a minute. Alright, we've got it put back together. Carburetor and everything's good. Put the tines back on, check the grease in the transmission. That looked good. Just need to put some gas in here, give it some pumps, and try it out. So I'm going to do that. We've actually ran into the evening time here, so I'm going to wait till tomorrow morning to actually put some gas in it and get it started up and see how it runs. Might have to adjust some of these high-lows to get it in the sweet spot, but we'll see tomorrow. Alright. Alright guys, here we are the next morning. Just got a couple last things to show you. So just as an FYI, do not tighten this screw too tightly, because I did that and I had everything ready to go to start it. And what it does is when you screw this in too tight, the little hinge or whatever this is for the choke, you're not able to pull this out because it's so tight. So I had to loosen this up just a little bit to give it enough play to be able to put the choke on and off. So just an FYI there. So I'm going to put this back together and give it a start, show you guys how it's running. Alright, I'm about to start it up again, but one more thing. This was kind of a pain, adjusting these little high-low screws in here. I had to really play around with it, screw them all the way in, back them out, until I got it started, and then when I push the throttle, the tines would go just a little bit, then it would cut off, so I had to play around with the high screw. Finally got it to a good spot to where I feel like it's at an optimal level. So anyway, let's give this a whirl. Pump it. I'll just pump it once because it already has some in there. Pull the choke out. See if I can do this with one hand. And start. Oh, wow, almost started just right then. Spent $14, and now it's basically good as new.
super happy with it. And that's about it. So hopefully you guys, like me, learned something in the process. And got any questions, comments, let me know. I'll probably put up some more videos of putting this thing actually to use in the garden that we built, which is right over